Welcome back, everyone. I am the Depressed Eeyore, and this is Middara. It's been a little while since it's been a while since I've recorded anything. I've been letting the backlog catch up. But now that it's sort of caught up, I'm going to go ahead and start recording. That I really kind of just want to keep playing this game. I did do my own personal playthrough, and I've done all the way through Chapter 2. So I do know what's up ahead, and there's definitely some branching and stuff that we can maybe take advantage of. I did do a video kind of going over some of the AI stuff that I kind of stumbled upon or eventually kind of figured out a little bit better. It's more of just kind of a trial and error thing. Probably the most important thing is just to be consistent with your group as far as how you handle the AI. But I think for the most part, what I was doing towards the end of my own playthrough was correct, and from what I've gathered on Discord, it was. So, more than likely, I'm about a month ahead of the videos right now, so if you do have any feedback and stuff, it's going to be a month before I actually see it. But I have taken this as an opportunity to go ahead and move everything over to the latest update, at least currently for my time. So they added colors to the figures here, which is kind of nice. None for the monsters yet, though. There's been a JSON file being passed around that's on the Discord, but I haven't really got up the nerve to really mess with a tabletop simulator like that before. So we're just gonna take what we get. And I think I might have had experience wrong for Nightingale, but I'm not, because I usually in my other playthrough I usually have like a 3-4-3-4 at this point, but actually since Nightingale's also using nothing but level 1s, she should be the same as Zeke and Rook. We just got done doing the sickle stuff, so let's go ahead and do that. You know this is a fresh build because I'm all the way at the beginning here. So there we go. So we're at City of Valenia. The only thing that's left, there are no bounties we can do. I do hope they come out with more bounties. I believe that is intended, but that's very much part of the Kickstarter. So page 66, back to the vaults, which means we'll go back to doing some reading. But before we do that, I did change some things up as far as my equipment's concerned. In my party stash, I pretty much threw every regular and mid-tier healing item. Anytime you use an item, it gets put back into the this consumable deck here. And in a lot of video game RPGs, you might be like, you always hoard all your items and, until like the final boss, and then you still don't use them. In this game, it's kind of like that, except it also punishes you for using any minor items. Because if you use a minor item, it gets added back to the loot table. And the more minor items that are in the loot table, the more often you'll draw them, as opposed to getting something like throwing knives or planks or bottle blessings, or once we start getting the next tier stuff, even better items. So my goal for the next sprint of encounters here is to try to just use our base healing and try to clear out all the healing items from this deck and just leave it with nothing but bottle blessings, planks, and throwing knives, which will go very well for Zeke because then he can very easily restock on his ammunition. The other thing I kind of want to do is there are some variant rules, and one of them is respecking. I kind of mentioned this before. So the base rules for respecking is you can do it during shop and train, but it costs an experience point. Now there is a difficulty tweak for it, where you get XP leniency, which is the first respec you do is free. Now I understand why they're trying to put like a restriction on the number of respecs you can do, because obviously you just don't want to constantly shuffle your skills around, which is kind of an interesting way of playing, but I can understand why they don't want to do that. At the same time, I do think it's a little overly restrictive. The amount of XP you get in this game is finite, and having to spend an XP is very, very painful overall, because it's something that will carry over for the rest of the game. So I definitely wouldn't mind being able to do the first respec for free. Personally, I think if I was to house rule it, I would probably do it maybe one respec per chapter, or once respec per city visit. Kind of like how you get one unique item in the shop for every city visit. Maybe have every time a new one of those another new unique item comes up, you get a respec that you can mess around with. So in any case, I do want to kind of change things up, and my personal playthrough has a very similar build to what I have right now. But there's a few things I'm going to try out that are a bit different this time. So I'm going to go ahead and do respec, but I am going to do XP leniency so I don't lose the experience. That way we can keep up with what we have so far. So the people I want to respect is Zeke, Nightingale, and Rook. I'm pretty good to go with Remy. I really kind of wanted to replace Familiar, but that 4 HP is super useful, especially as a summoner. I mean, you think it's not much because, sometimes you get hit for like 14 damage. I think the record amount of damage I've suffered was like 20 something, and that was with Zeke, of course. But having that extra HP is super useful for Remy, so I'm just going to have to stick with it. I mean, otherwise I would have probably gone for something like Euthanasia. And the only reason I wouldn't grab Euthanasia now, why is it keep doing that? Thank you. I was trying to right click this thing, I just kept on turning the camera instead. Because Euthanasia would go really well for a summoner, because summoners are generally, the best way to kind of build a summoner is to go kind of hybrid, go caster physical, because your summons may use one or the other, and you need to kind of, it goes based off your casting die and all that crazy stuff. But like I said, extra HP is kind of important. Anyway, enough rambling. So the thing I want to get rid of on Zeke is magic armor. It's good, and I will probably pick it up later, but I don't want it right now. And what I want him to have instead is mend. He will have the heals. Okay. As mentioned, Nightingale is going to be losing mend, and she's actually going to go straight into her tier 2 subterfuge. And that will give her access to her second archery ability. There's actually a couple of good ones you can go for. The only false idol would be nice, except if you see the symbol there, it's just a sword. It's only for physical attack. Only for melee attacks. It doesn't work with bows. So what we want, Shame of Otaku is pretty good too, because it allows you to just auto avoid something and then get out of dodge. But what I want, Overwatch is good. Where is it? Down the masses. We're going to take down the masses, which allows us to make 2 attacks at the cost of 2 stamina, but each shot has to be a different target. Overwatch is kind of nice, but you only get 1 break attack per round anyway, so it's not the best. So we're going to grab that. That will change her experience, so she's actually going to be the same as Remy now. And then for Rook, originally I was thinking of having him take mend and leaving Zeke with magic armor, but I actually want to go further down the Sanctus tree and try out some stuff. And we're going to drop Aspect. I like Aspect. I like making Rook be able to be this mobile bowling ball of death. But tier 2 Sanctus abilities include a lot of cool things. Proof of Divinity is really interesting because it allows you to give courage. Salvation, if you've played through a lot of the encounters already, Salvation you will know exactly what sort of negative traits to actually become immune to, which can shut down certain encounters, which is pretty cool. Not really much for Fervor. Soul Clear, the ability to remove effects is actually super good, but I don't want to. It's expensive, and I don't want to give up a 5 experience for it. Ascension is all about intervention tokens, which I'm not going to mess with. But From the Grave, there's only 1 From the Grave in the deck, and what it does is once per encounter, you can revive somebody to half their hit points, and you'll place them within SOI. I kind of wish I grabbed this sooner on my personal playthrough, but it is. We're going to be exploring that, because sometimes we get in a situation where we literally get one-shotted, or you get defeated through an encounter effect or something like that. So that is what I'm going to do. Like I said, I'm going to do the respec variant and the XP leniency so I don't lose any experience. Also something I also did is I did a total experience down here to keep track of it. So we have 11 experience total. And with what we spend, we have 3, 4, 3, 3 now. Gold's all good. Still have Devastating. Alright, and that's the plan. So there we go. We now have 1 person that can heal, 1 person that can res. Nightingale's going full on Archer mode, and Remy will still be our summoner. So that's the plan. All right, so this is going to be a bit of a one thing I forgot to grab. We need to grab Elifie's initiative card. I thought about trying out Zulfikar, the Spirit Blade, but the problem is he's really good if you just want more physical attack in your group, and I don't need more physical attack in my group. Something else to note is the back of these cards actually have a bunch of story stuff, which I may go ahead and read in a second. In fact, your character cards all have the same stuff as well. So, and I think the monsters do too. I think originally they were just flipped images, but I think they actually now have story stuff in the back. Yep. Craziness. Okay. I might go ahead and do that as part of the story stuff, because I'm going to be reading a bunch of story stuff anyway, so we'll consider doing that in a bit. I'm just kind of reviewing anything else I really want to mess with. I want to go ahead and take the web feet that Zeke have and give it to Rook. Since he doesn't have aspect anymore, I want him to at least be a little bit more mobile. Also, something I've just been kind of forgetting about in the game in general is anytime you get the heavy thing, Rook has the ability to ignore the movement penalty caused by the first instance of heavy he has equipped. It doesn't say anything about preventing the agility that you lose. You actually lose 1 point of agility for every keyword heavy that you have in your gear. So that's why even though he has 1 agility on his card, he actually has 0 here. That's something I've been forgetting a lot, and that may have affected some skill checks, but I don't really remember if I've done any with Rook. So just something to be aware of. Rook has 0 agility, and I don't think he can go below 0. All right. Anything else? I could buy a few more. I could buy a few more of these if I really want to. Some relics. But I think we might be able to get some as loot in the future, so I think I'll go ahead and just wait. I mean, we have a majority of the relics anyway. It's just, unfortunately, we only have so much space. Is there anything else to mess with? I think we're good. So let's go ahead and dive into some story stuff. So main quest, back to the vaults, page 66. Another thing I guess you can mess with if you really wanted to risk it is you can spend gold to just clear out the common items, the consumable items, which is a little tempting. That would be an interesting play to make. But at the same time, I could just... Every encounter I'm going to get 2 items, and there are 16 in here. So I would have most of them out here. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 26. So for 30 gold, I could clear this thing out of everything I don't want. I think I might do that. It's a bit risky, but I think it might be worthwhile. You know what? Let's do it. So 30 gold, 296. This is a hefty investment. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 22, 24, 26, and the smoke bomb, 30. And I'll leave all this in here. And then that'll give me a bit of flexibility as far as just throwing items around if I need to. I'm almost okay with having the MF Fortitudes, but let's not risk it. We're just going to go all in on this. Alright, we'll see how that 30 gold investment goes, because that's 30 gold I'm not going to have for the next shop. Alright, page 66. And boop. Okay. Main quest. Back to the vaults. Nobody's watching. Go, Rook urged, hurrying ahead of the others. The spires had plenty of guards, but none could see this particular path through the towers. It wasn't as though they had to sneak onto the property, yet Zeke had insisted they wouldn't be permitted to just walk into the vaults. His family and Nightingale's both would never have let them do something so dangerous. They made it to the door. It was thick metal with a thin veneer of false stone on the outside. Rook would have missed it had he not already known what to look for. The round doorway looked exactly as it had before, save a few signs of stress on the metal locking bar. All right. Nightingale knocked the bar out of the way. Help me get it open. They all braced against the round door, pulling against the corroded metal hinges until it started to swing. Nightingale and Remy did their best to help, though Rook couldn't notice the difference their efforts made. A few seconds of struggle and some sweat, and the door creaked, grinding inward. Nightingale moved to be the first one into the dark, drawing her weapon. Let's do that. Rook grabbed her by the horn, and she stopped to throw an angry glare at him. Hey! Nightingale yelped. You don't get to be up front anymore, Rook said. I'm your knight. I have to keep you safe. He let go, shoving past her with his weapon drawn. You're not my knight yet. You haven't even been knighted, Nightingale pouted. Hate to say it, but it's probably a good idea. Zeke followed Rook, stepping past Nightingale. If you got killed, my mom wouldn't let me hear the end of it. Nightingale was the last of the doorway. They shoved it shut behind them, then set off into the dark. Rook muttered for Suri, and a second later there was that strange light again. A bubbling fountain of purple and violet from Rook's amulet in that light, and an otherworldly shape solidified, floating in the air on her own wind. Hello again, Suri greeted them. You all look very alive right now. The strange girl sounded almost surprised as her eyes danced across each of their faces. Rook nodded. Thanks to you, Suri. Do you think you could help us navigate through the vaults? That depends on where you're trying to go. Nightingale stepped forward, tail swishing about impatiently behind her. There's a big room near where you met us yesterday, with a pedestal over a cliff. Is that what you want, Rook? He hesitated, looking at Nightingale's pale face. Yeah, let's go back. Suri did an exaggerated bow in the air, flipped over herself. Follow me, then. In a blur, she was gone, leaving a shimmering trail of light in the air to mark her passing. They hadn't gone far before a monstrous shape emerged from the gloom in front of them. Continue to retracing their steps, page 60. Boop, 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 boop. The vaults are a bit more ruined than they were on your last visit. It looks as if the area collapsed after you left. Pits dot the stone floor, and sections of fallen rock block the path to your destination, making the descent a bit harder than before. Across from you, to the west, you can see the way back down towards the altar room, but it seems that the platform had been completely destroyed. Even stranger is the twitching animate near the exit. The telltale red glow emanates from within the collapsed suit of armor. However, it doesn't look like it's ready to fight. To the north, cave sickles go about their inscrutable business. Alright, so here we are. So let's go ahead and get ourselves started. We'll go ahead and load page. What I'll probably do is all the stuff that's on the back of the cards, I will probably read in a separate video, because I think I still have another week of Lancaster tournament going on, so I won't be able to do any PvP videos anyway. So it'll probably be on a Monday. In fact, it'll probably come sooner than this video. Who would have thought? Anyway, let's see. Alright, so 5k sickles, pretty standard stuff, 2 unknown chests. Now, something I did notice, anytime that you clear the board, it actually auto-shuffles the tokens in the respective piles. So even though I can't really shuffle them manually, it seems to do it automatically. So I'll go under that assumption from now on, instead of having to roll. We do have a tip. It's just mentioning loot levels. Tip, loot level. It's important to remember that the loot level will get better as players progress through adventures, so keep on trucking. Right now, the loot level is mundane. It hasn't changed yet. So we're back to a 30 card deck of mundane items. I have LFE on standby because that's probably who I'm going to summon, because her armor debuff is king. And this actually has our second achievement that's available, Death from Above. If an adventurer successfully jumped a dangerous terrain space and then defeated an opponent on the same turn, read the following hidden text. So achievements are very much like the previous one. It's an opportunity to get some extra loot, and they're all pretty helpful. I've been able to do majority of them. The only one I never bothered trying to do was like a blur, which we'll be seeing in the future. The other ones are actually kind of easy to do, at least with my particular build. Anyway, any other rules that we need to worry about? Special encounter rules. I don't trust the armor. While it's on the board, an adventurer may attack or cast a spell targeting the blue objective token as if it had 8 defense and 2 purple conviction. If they deal any damage, read the following hidden text. So it's talking about the blue objective here. That's a suit of armor. In fact, we can read it here. The blue objective represents an animate sitting against the cave walls. When an adventurer enters the space adjacent to this token, read the following hidden text. So that's what we got. All right. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Our start place is bottom right. Our exit's down there. We'll go ahead and get Nightingale situated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm actually within attack range of the blue objective thanks to these true flight arrows. So we got that going for us. All right, let's see, banish knowledge. Okay. The other reason why I was willing to drop magic armor is simply because we still have Elifie, and Elifie has blood barrier, so may as well use what we got. Zeke will be in the back. Put you here, and then we'll have Rook here. Okay, that should be everything. It's been a while since I've had to recorded these, so I'm a little nervous. Let's get a drink of water. It was probably noticeable when I was trying to do voices and I failed miserably. Alright, so we do have a few things. So let's go ahead and shift the map to the left a bit. There we go. Actually, let's do that. That'll be easier. Okay. We need to get AI cards. So we need to get a cave sickle and another cave sickle. I already have dice here. Put those over there. I already have a damage counter set up for Elifie. I do need to get some stamina counters for her. So let's go ahead and get those out. We only need 5 right now, and of course my left mouse is on the fritz again. They don't build mice like they used to. Alright, okay, more damage counters. Oh, one thing I also did is I went ahead and moved some of the buffs like courage, haste, and barrier down to the bottom left here, so it's a little bit more accessible for me. I don't really need courage right now, but I'll probably be getting that later in the future. Alright, or we'll fight a Gavaden, who knows. Okay. Now we need to get some initiative cards, 4 to 6, 1 through 3. Alright, that's everything. Let's go ahead and reset initiative track. Alright, Nightingale goes first. And yeah, we go first. That's really all we got to say about that. Everyone's stamina is set. Okay, so let's go ahead and go with Nightingale. So first thing that Nightingale's going to do is she's going to move. I'm going to go ahead and trigger this this fancy event. So spending 1 stamina to move, 1, 2, and I'm going to jump here, 3, 4. Oh, so a new feature with the updated module, the little measuring thing is actually snaps to tokens and figures. So if I have it on here like this, it'll actually set the point of origin kind of based off the center there. And then if I go anywhere near something like a token, it'll actually snap and show me exactly what the white line is. So from now on, I'll be going based off this new snapped version, which will very clearly kind of show me where things are going. All right. So with all that said and done, I'll do the jump check. I can't fail it because Rook will help me with the jump. So yeah, there's 12 plus her agility, which is 5, 17. The DC was 10, and Rook would have made it 22. 23 actually. So I jumped across a pit, and now I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 stamina to attack. Actually, yeah, I'll spend 2 stamina to attack. Technically, I can't do down the masses because I don't have 2 clear shots because this one's blocking it. But that's okay. I just want to get this. Actually, I could keep moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, unlikely that I'll get what I want though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What happens if I go here? Can I target you? No. Okay, then I'm just going to stick with what I had before. So I jumped across. I'm going to shoot this green one here. I used my 2 stamina already, so it's just going to be an orange and a white. And we'll see if we can make this happen. I've moved so I don't get any bonuses. Alright, so 9's a hit. And would do 1 damage base. I need more damage though. So I'm going to go ahead and... also, you might notice I'm stacking the cards a little bit different. I'm going to do this. That'll be a little bit easier. I'm going to go ahead and use the quiver here, and I'm going to re-roll the 4. Okay, that's something I can work with. So 13 in total. They have 8 defense, so it's going to be 5 damage base, plus 1 because of the star. I don't need to use any of the devastatings because 6 damage is enough to kill one. I did jump over a pit and kill one, which is enough to trigger the achievement. So your mighty blow coupled with your momentum sends the creature splattering across the stone floor. Even though I didn't use momentum, the sheer brutality of the kill sends the creature splattering across the stone floor. The sheer brutality of the kill sends more gold than normal spilling across the ground. Draw an additional combat loot card. In addition, your brave stunt inspires your team. All allies gain 2 stamina points. Now, whenever it mentions allies, as long as it doesn't say other allies, it does include herself. So now she gains 2 stamina back. Alright, and now we get an extra combatant card, but since this is a swarm thing, it's 0 card. Essentially, it's going to be 0 plus 1, so 1 card. Alright, 9 gold. Alright, and then I can take another shot from here if I want to, or I can try shooting the bad thing. Part of me wants to shoot the bad thing. I'll wait. I'll actually wait until later. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and just spend another 2 stamina to go ahead and shoot the far one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm actually out of range. Never mind. In that case, I'm going to go ahead and let my turn into here, but first I'll go ahead and use the utility core and shuffle this and get myself a throwing knife. So now anytime I use a utility core, I'm either going to get a throwing knife, a bottle blessing, or a magic bomb, all of which are useful to me. Alright. I didn't use kill the messenger. Yeah, we're good to go. So Remy. Remy will go ahead and spend a stamina to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will go ahead and go 7, 8, spending the extra stamina. We don't need to worry about the blue totem just yet, so we're good to go on that. Let's go ahead and pop summoning. So let's go ahead and do that. So that'll give me my 2 summon tokens. We'll go ahead and get Elifie on the board, who's going to stand right here. Oh, actually, I can't put her there. It's within SOI, so it has to be within vision. So what we can do there is just do this. Alright. And then let's go ahead and bring her onto the board. 3 stamina and her health. Add her to the initiative track. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 stamina to go ahead and attack with the War Axe. Eight is a hit, and it's going to do only 2 damage, 3 with this. if I exhaust it. Yeah, might as well. I'll do 3 damage to, looks like to be teal. Alright, and that'll be it for her turn. It'll go to Elifie next. So first thing I'll do with Elifie is I'm going to go ahead and attempt to attack the wounded one, the teal one. She gets 2 white dice. Okay, 10. So against defense 8, it's going to do 2 damage base, and then every spellbook gives +1 magic damage. So she actually does exactly 3 damage, which is enough to kill. So that'll take care of that cave sickle, and now that swarm card is completed, we can go ahead and draw the first loot card. Alright, 7 gold. Alright, I have 1 stamina left. I'm going to go ahead and pop Gore Shot. So let's go ahead and grab this exhaust, put that there. And then her casting die is just a purple. Oh, also I need to update their convictions. They're all wrong. Okay, they're all fixed now. Okay, so yeah, just a purple die. Alright, 3 plus 6, it's spell power 6. Yeah, so force 9. And they get to roll a white and a purple to avoid. 7. I rolled a 3, so 9. Yep, so I actually hit. It's going to do 2 damage, and then I'll do additional 4 if I were to take 2 damage to her. I will. Now kill the orange one because it does 6 damage exactly. So we're good to go on that front. I'm going to go ahead and spend the last stamina to go ahead and loot the random loot token, which is a yellow. You find a pile of treasure. The party gains 20 gold. So we'll go ahead and add our 20 gold. 316. Alright. And that is it for Elifie. Not too bad. We already wiped out 3 out of the 5. Goes to Rook next. So unfortunately Rook is not as speedy as he used to be, but he's still going to be pretty powerful. So let's go ahead and spend a stamina to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it would be 6, 8, 10, 12. And I will provoke the break attack from this cave sickle here. Yeah. So I'm going to provoke the break. Moving here will provoke an attack from the cave sickle, so I will take it. I'm not going to dodge it. Actually, yeah, I'm not going to dodge it. So it'll be a white and an orange. Yeah, white and orange. So let's see what we get. Of course, so 13 is a hit. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and use the caress and take no physical damage whatsoever. But what would the damage have been? It would have been 3, 4, 5. So I would have taken 1, 2, 3, 4. I would have taken 1 damage if I had let it go through. But since I didn't let it go through, and now it does 0 damage, I'm going to go ahead and do a exhaust this to counter, and then exhaust this to empower the counter, and go for gold. Wow. Alright. I don't have any rerolls, so that is it for that. Alright, that was Rook. Goes to Zeke. So we'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and pop Mend. So it now has 2 heal tokens. Which reminds me, we need to get 2 more of these made for the future. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, and then we'll use another stamina to go additional 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll actually we'll go here. I'll use another stamina for that. Alright, So yeah, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 movement at the cost of 3 stamina. And let's go ahead and throw some axes. Oh, yeah, we'll go ahead and throw some axes. Used and used. We'll throw the first one at the red. Okay, and then the second one will be at the red. Alright, killed one, leaving one behind. And then I'm going to go ahead and pop the utility core. Draw one of these. I do get a free re-equip, so I'm going to go ahead and just move that plank out of the way. Put it in the bag for now. Get the throwing knife. Anything else I want to mess with? Let's go ahead and use Banished Knowledge. It only costs 1 if I cast it on somebody else, so I'm going to cast it on Rook. Actually, I'll cast it. Yeah, I'll have to be on Rook because he's the. Yeah, we'll go Rook. Alright, and then that leaves Cave Sickles. 4 through 6 are dead. We don't need to worry about you anymore. There is somebody in melee range, so it's going to go ahead and try to do an overpower attack. So 2 white dice. Rook will go ahead and dodge with a defensive core, so we'll roll this die. Nothing, because they're all books. And it misses still, so I successfully dodged. I'll go ahead and use my 1 stamina to counter. And missed. Okay, and that's it for the round. New round. Alright, Cave Sickles go first. Rook has no means to dodge, so it's just going to be a straight up attack. Alright, so that's a 11, that's a hit. Rook has 10 defense, so it's going to be 1 damage base, and then each shield is +1, so it's going to be a total of 4 damage. Rook has 4 armor, so it's going to do 0 damage to him. Alright, it goes to Rook's turn. He's going to get 3 stamina back, then +1 stamina from haste. And then he is going to go ahead and pop a Courage Stifle, using a white die because you can use your shield as your casting thing. So 5 plus 6 is 11. Alright, so it's going to do 2 times his armor. He has 4 armor, so it's going to be 8 damage, which is a kill. Okay, and then we finish that swarm, so draw a card, 7 gold. Alright, so far we've made 23 gold, not bad. We're done with you for now. Okay. Now the biggest issue here is there's a pit here, and I don't have very many answers for it. So, I'm going to go ahead and spend a stamina to move. I'm just going to get him a position so he can help with jumping over this little gap here. And that'll be it for him. Next will be Elifie. Elifie will get 3 stamina back. And at this point I don't really want to... I can... I'm going to spend 2 of it to Invigorate, which gives you a dodge token. And these do carry over, so that's why I'm doing it. I'm actually going to give it to herself for right now, just in case she needs it. She does take 1 damage for doing that ability. And then I don't really need to do Barrier, I don't think, so I'll just leave it at that. And I don't really want to move, so I'm just going to save that last stamina. Alright, goes to Remy. Remy will get 3 stamina, putting her at 4. And she'll spend 2 to fly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're just going to hang out there for now. You can jump in L shapes, so it's not a big deal that she's standing there. Next I'll go to Nightingale. Nightingale will get her 3 stamina and refresh her stuff. And she's actually going to go ahead and spend 3 stamina, 2 to attack and 1 to empower. And she's going to shoot the blue objective. So here goes nothing. Okay. That's just a flat out miss, isn't it? I think I might just go ahead and let that go. I can kill the messenger at the 2, and I could reroll the 3, but this was just a really bad attack overall. Let me check here. Yeah, 8 defense. Let's just mulligan that. Well, yeah, because the books are not going to do anything for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use the fight drive, and then spend a stamina to go ahead and empower the attack from the fight drive, and we'll just try this again. Okay, this is slightly better. So I'm going to go ahead and do kill the messenger, and take this 2, that's the lowest die amount that you can get, and change it to 7, because that's the highest. And she hasn't moved, so it's going to be +1 attack. It's going to be 13, 14 because she didn't move. So, and it's going to be against a defensive 8, so it's 6 damage base. And then another 6 from having 5 shields, so that brings it up to 12. Star brings it up to 13, and then I'm going to go ahead and pop both Devastatings for another 4. So let's do that total again. So we're not moving, so we have +1 attack, so it's 14. -8, the defense is 8, so it brings it down to 6. Star brings it up to 7. 5 shields bring it up to 13. And then the Devastatings bring it up to 17. Is that right? I think so. Sorry, I'm just doing the math again. 6, 7, 13. Yeah, 17 damage in total. Alright, so if you deal any damage, read the following text. If you dealt 12 or more damage, the pile of armor is sent flying off the side of the platform. Draw 2 combatant loot cards. If you draw the monster loot card, draw an animate loot card. Then discard the blue objective, otherwise read the section below. So if you didn't do enough damage, it would wake up, I believe. But in this case, we did more than 12 damage. We don't have to worry about armor or anything, even though it's an animate. And we get to draw 2 loot cards. So 1 and 2. Okay, so another 13 gold. And then we just remove the blue objective token. There you go. And that is it for Nightingale, because I fired, so I can't move, because I got the bonus from the Bear of Justice here. Alright, then it goes to Zeke. So for Zeke, let's go ahead and get him his 3 stamina back. He'll spend 1 to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have him go here. I'll make the jump check, but he can't fail it because of Rook's help. Yeah, 12, so that's more than enough. And then I'll have him spend a stamina and use Banished Knowledge again to give haste to Remy. And that's it for that. New round. We did kill things, so we don't need to worry about urgency yet. Alright, goes to Zeke. Zeke will go up to max here. Technically he can give himself haste, but I'm going to wait. Instead, I'm going to move. 1, 2. Let's check to see if I get line of sight of the token. If it covers any of the red, yeah, it does. So what I need to do is actually step here, and that will definitely trigger the blue totem. So blue totem. A hooded figure emerges from the shadows. Spawn an animate on any unoccupied normal terrain space on the west side of UM42, which is, so it's going to be right here. So let's go ahead and grab that. Let's grab the animate. Of course, he's going to spawn. Go ahead, just move that out of the way. Go ahead and borrow one of these that I didn't actually update because I didn't need to. Alright, and then we need to grab an animate. Okay. Alright, and then Then pounding steps alert you to an earth loa charging from the darkness. If you choose the brace for the attack, read A. If you attempt to roll out of the way, read B. I'll attempt to roll out of the way. As the huge creature barrels in your direction, you attempt to jump out of its way at the last moment. Make a agility 12 check. If you have an ability with dodge, you may use it to pass this check automatically. I don't have an ability that has dodge. I have a way of rerolling dodges, but I don't have an ability that actually gives dodge. So I have to actually make this roll. Good luck. Alright, so that's 8 plus his agility, which is 4, which is 12, which is exactly what I needed. Alright. If you pass, the creature tumbles past you as you roll out of the way. Spawn an earth loa on any occupied space adjacent to your figure. If the space is dangerous terrain, it tumbles off the edge and is defeated. Then continue your turn as normal. And then the rest is just if we failed it, which it would have just essentially tackled us and it hit us really, really hard. So it says any adjacent space, and it says if it's dangerous terrain. So the idea, as far from what I've heard, is you pick things based off the what's beneficial to the current turn, the current character's turn. This is right now Zeke's turn, so it's actually what I'm going to do is going to be beneficial to him, which means that earth loa is going down a pit. So it's going to be defeated. It is an earth loa, so I will draw a loot card for him. And we get an item loot. Alright, so we get to roll 2 white dice and check the table. 10, I think that's relic. Yep, 10 is a relic, so we're going to go ahead and shuffle this. There's only 2 left. Alright, and we got our Fate Engine. So that's going to give him his second white conviction die. And we already know what a Fate Engine does. You can use it to negate all symbols for 1 die. Alright, and that should be, yep, that is it for the blue totem. And I'm still moving, I think. Yes, I am. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go ahead and move to be next to the animate here. And I'm going to go ahead and start swinging. This thing has 3 armor, so it's definitely not going to be the best situation. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and empower it. I'm better off just empowering it. I do have the ability to exhaust the attack again if I need to, if it misses. So 2 white dice and an empower die. Alright, so 12. Unfortunately, I only got books. So 12 against 9, so 3. 2 shields will get it up to 5, and then the star will get up to 6, and it has 3 armor, so I'll do 3 damage to it. Not much, but it's something. Alright, then it's going to go straight into Animate's turn. Animate is going to heal 2 as part of his thing. Is there an opponent adjacent? Yes, make an attack. If it's a melee attack, the first melee attack he makes is empowered. So it's going to be a orange, teal, and empower. I'm going to go ahead and use my 1 stamina that I have left to dodge. Let's roll it. Alright, 3 shields. I'm going to keep it. I do have multiple ways to reroll, but 3 is about as good as you're going to get. Alright, and then we roll this. So 11 versus 13 defense because of the 3 shields is a miss. And then it's going to move 2 spaces further from the target, so this movement does not provoke break attacks. So, key thing is I have to make steps that are further away from Zeke. The only thing that would be legal would be to move here. Moving here, the only way he can do the jump would be to go here, which would be not further away, and going here would not be further away. This is the only spot that's further away, so he'll move there. Alright, and then it goes to Remy's turn. Remy does have haste active, but she's going to be maxed out anyway. And she's going to go ahead and spend a stamina to move. She's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to make a jump with Zeke helping with his 4 strength. I didn't need it because the roll alone was enough to pass the 10 check, and she also has 6 agility. She has the highest agility in the group. And then I'm going to go ahead and make my attacks. I'm going to go ahead and spend 3. I'm going to attack and empower it. Okay, so 10 is a hit. It has 9 defense, so it's going to be 1 damage base, plus 1 from the star, so 2, plus another 2, plus 2 from the 2 shields, so 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the War Axe here to make it so every book is another physical damage. So I had 1 base, 2 goes up to 2 because of star, goes up to 4 because of shields, and then there's 5 books, so that's going to bring it up to 9 damage in total. And then it has 3 armor, so it's going to take 6, putting it at 7. Alright, and then I will go ahead and pop my fight drive and empower it. And we'll see what we get. Okay. Good thing, because I can't exhaust a second time. So 11, 9 defense, so 2 damage, 3 damage against star, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 damage again, so it's going to take 6, bringing it to 13. Alright, and that is it for her. I could throw I could throw the animism, but that's a flip effect, so it wouldn't reset except on restores. Alright, so with all that said and done, let's go ahead and go to Nightingale. I could be really baller and try to jump this 2 gap here, but I think I'm just going to move. So she's going to get 3 stamina back. She'll spend 1 to move. Technically I should be using Exhausted for those. The reason I'm using Exhausted is I can't actually turn the cards because of the weird snapping. Alright. So, yeah. So we'll spend... Did I spend 1? I don't remember how much stamina I had left. I think I had 1 and I gained 3. Actually, I might have had none. I'll just assume I had none because I don't really want to check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's my 7 movement because she has an occult shirt. And I will go ahead and take the shot. So I've moved. I won't be able to empower. We're just going to roll regularly. And then I'm going to re-roll the 4. And then I'm going to use Kill the Messenger to change that to its max value, which is an 8. So 12 is a hit. Minus 3 or minus 9 defense, so it's going to be 3 damage base. Star will bring it up to 4, and then I'm going to exhaust both of these to bring it up to 8, so it's going to do 5 damage to it, which is enough to kill it. Just making sure. 12, open 3, 4, 8. Yep, that's enough to kill. So that's a dead animate. Discard that. Draw a card. Alright. Not too bad. A lot of gold, but we did get a free relic, which saved us about 15 gold, which is not bad. Alright. So with all that said and done, it's going to go to Elifie's turn. And Elifie is going to get 3 stamina. She'll go ahead and spend 2. And give somebody a dodge token, I think. It's always nice to have spares. She'll give 1 to Rook. Just in case. And she'll take a damage for that. Alright, and then she'll spend 1 to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we'll just go here. Technically, 1, 2, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can actually jump this way. As long as I have line of sight, I should be able to do it. Yep. Okay, so Elifie will go ahead and make her jump check. We'll use these 2 dice. DC's 10. I rolled a 10. She also has 5 agility, and Rook has 6 strength, so it would have been a 21. Alright, takes care of all that. It's now Rook's turn. Rook will probably just hang out. I think he's good to go. I could risk jumping, but it would essentially just, actually with help he can do it. But you know what, I'm just gonna pass the turn. As you can see, there's not really anything left on the board, so we're gonna go ahead and just have Zeke go. He'll get 3 stamina, he'll spend 1 to check the item, which is a green. You find a pile of treasure, gain 1 random relic. Alright, there's only 1 relic left. That's the Enchanted Piercings, and that'll go to him. This is actually a huge amount of overkill for him. Yeah, he doesn't need this much, he doesn't need this many conviction upgrades. But that's alright. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and just move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to there. It's going to go to Remy's turn next. She's going to get 4 stamina. She'll spend 1 to move to get to here. She'll spend another to do a re-equip. And when you re-equip, you can take items from people that are adjacent to you. So she's going to go ahead and take the... she'll take the other Enchanted Piercings. So she'll have 2 rerolls. Yeah, that might work. Alright, so with all that said and done, is there any items I want to take from him? No. Alright. That's it for her. I'll have her fly over next round. Elfie. I'm going to have Elfie pass. Rook will pass, and then I'll have Nightingale move. I'm just going to use up all of her movement. I'm not going to bother rolling the jump. I can't fail it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We'll go right there. Alright, so new round. This time we do get an urgency token, so we'll go ahead and make a note of that. Goes to Zeke turns first, so that's good. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and have him move here. So you had 3 stamina, spend 1 to move. I'm going to go ahead and use a re-equipped action with the adventure pack here. Take the throwing knives. With the backpack and all that, he should be able to carry everything pretty easily. Okay, that's it for that. At this point, I'll just pass with Rook, pass with Elfie, and have Remy fly to the end. And that'll be it for that. Alright, so with all that said and done, each party member, we got to the blue exit. I didn't even talk about the lose conditions or anything like that, but we get to the blue exit. You might notice that both the continues for the win and loss are the same. So really, most cases, winning will get you experience, and then losing will actually make it so you don't gain experience. So there's definitely, even though you're kind of failing forward, that's the loss of XP is gonna catch up to you eventually. So anyway, everyone gains 1 experience. So noted. Alright, and then we do an alternate path, which is page 62, which is this one. Story leads you through the cavern's twists and turns until you've come to another familiar spot. Like before, collapsing rock has changed the landscape, making it a bit harder to navigate. Luckily, the floor here is still mostly intact. Ahead, more animates prepare themselves for combat. So here's our setup. Achievement, Proof of Prowess. If you defeat an animate who had no damage at the start of your turn, read the following hidden text. So you have to kill an animate from full to 0, which is doable. You can do it. You can do it with Rook. 2 courage stifles, or do it in like a huge amount of combination. The only annoying part is if you don't get the kill, in which case you either have to just hope there's another animate up ahead, or let the animate regenerate slowly every round until you get what you need. Alright. Other than that, everything we need to do is just we need to get to the blue exit and all that good stuff, which right now, yeah, we see the blue exit, so kind of got that going for us. All right, so for right now, I'm going to go ahead and just clear the board, but I can do that off screen, so I'm going to go ahead and call this a video. I am the Depressed Eeyore, and this was Middara. See you guys next time.